So now that we have one long continuous piece of fabric, there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can measure each side, cut a piece the right length, and then just sew it on. Or you can do it the cheater way. So that's what I'm going to show you. This can go for all quilts too, by the way, not just table runners when you're doing borders. So you've got your raw edges here, you'll put them to one side, straight through the center of your table runner in this case. We're going to smooth everything out. And then I'm just going to take my little ruler over here and trim that off. So now we have two borders, one for the top and one for the bottom. And then you have your little leftover piece for another project. So when I'm getting these borders ready to sew, obviously you pin them. I'm a huge advocate of pinning because then you know that your project is going to be straight when you're done. So I will just line everything up and start pinning, and then I'll do the top pin, and then I'll sew my 1/4 of an inch down and press everything out. If you notice, like here, this is a tiny bit short on one end, and that's fine. So what I'm going to do is just pin this end and pin this end, and then just give a little tug, walk my fingers down to the center. Sometimes a little bit of being short happens, and that's how you end up with a square quilt, is by manipulating your fabric so it stays straight. Sure, you could just sew a long strip and then cut it off and then sew a long strip, but when you do that, the feed dogs will pull in your fabric a little bit, and you'll have wavy borders, and that doesn't look nice, and it's impossible. If you take a quilt to a long armor's, it's impossible for the long armor to fix that quilt. Wavy borders are no good. So that's all pinned. I'll just pin the other side now and then sew along with my 1/4 inch seam.